Most people think that stress is something that happens to you, like life is stressful, so you're stressed out. That's not actually what's happening. And once I show you what's really going on inside your body, you're never going to look at stress the same way again. I'm David Moore, and I'm a physician, and I work with a very specific kind of person: high performers, executives, entrepreneurs, leaders. People who have built real things through discipline, through grit, through outworking everybody else in the room. People who are very good at pushing forward and who've never, not once, been taught how to stop. That's what this channel is all about, and it starts with one concept: heart-brain coherence. If you've never heard of that phrase before, that's fine. Most people haven't. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what it is, why it matters, and why, if you're a high performer, it might be the most important thing anyone ever taught you. Let me start with what's happening in your body right now. You have a system called the autonomic nervous system. Autonomic means automatic. It runs without you having to think about it. It controls your heart rate, your blood pressure, your hormones, your digestion, your immune function, your sleep, your ability to focus, basically everything. And it has two modes. The first mode is sympathetic activation. You've heard it as fight or flight. This is the system that fires when there's a threat. Heart goes up, cortisol spikes, blood gets redirected to your muscles, your digestion slows down, your immune system takes a backseat, your vision narrows. Your body does all this automatically to help you survive. The second is parasympathetic activation, rest and digest. This is where recovery happens, where healing happens, where your body rebuilds, where your hormones regulate, where your immune system does its job, where your brain actually consolidates its learning and its memory. Here's the problem. Your body was designed to move between those states: activate, recover, activate, recover. But that's not how most high performers live. Most high performers are in sympathetic activation all day, every day. Not because life is constantly dangerous, because their nervous system has trained them to stay there. You trained your nervous system to get up before anyone else, to stay sharp under pressure, to push when other people stopped, to keep going when it got hard. That discipline built everything you have. It's also trained your nervous system to stay on all the time. And the problem isn't activation. Activation is useful. Activation is why you're good at what you do. The problem is you never learn how to come back down. So what is heart-brain coherence? Let me give you a simple version first, and then I'll get a little deeper. Coherence is a measurable state where your heart and your brain and your nervous system are all working in sync, together, not against each other. It's the opposite of fight or flight, or the stress state. It's not meditation, it's not relaxation, it's not zoning out. It's an active, trainable, physiological state where your nervous system shifts into parasympathetic dominance, rest and digest, while you remain fully present and mentally sharp. That distinction matters a lot because the people I work with don't want to be calm and checked out. They want to be calm and completely on. They want to recover without losing their edge. That's what coherence delivers. Let me go a little deeper because the science here is genuinely fascinating. Your heart is not just a pump. For a long time, that's how we thought about it. The brain gives orders, the heart carries the blood, that's the picture. But the research coming out from the HeartMath Institute over the last 30 years has completely changed that picture. Your heart has its own nervous system. It's sometimes called the heart brain, about 40,000 neurons embedded in the heart itself. And the heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. Hear that again. Your heart talks to the brain more than your brain talks to your heart, which means the state of your heart, its rhythm, its pattern, directly influences your brain, your cognitive function, your emotional regulation, your perception, your decision making. When your heart rhythm is erratic, which is what happens when you're in chronic stress, the signal going to your brain is chaotic, scattered. Your prefrontal cortex, the brain responsible for clear thinking, judgment, and emotional regulation, gets inhibited. You feel this brain fog, overreactivity, difficulty thinking clearly under pressure, decision fatigue. When your heart rhythm is coherent, smooth, ordered, and rhythmic, the opposite happens. The signals going to your brain are organized. Your prefrontal cortex is fully online. Your thinking is sharp, your emotional regulation improves, your body drops into a parasympathetic state, and actual recovery happens. That's coherence. The most important thing I want you to hear right now is this: it's trainable. It's not a fixed state. This is not personality. This is not who you are. It's a skill. Like every other skill you've built in your life, it gets better with practice. Now let me tell you why this is so important, especially for the people watching this video. High performers are good at a lot of things, but there's one thing most of them have never been taught. It's a thing that starts to catch up with them in their 40s and 50s. They were never taught to recover. Think about elite athletes for a second. A world-class sprinter doesn't just train. They train, then they recover. Deliberately, systematically, recovery is in downtime. Recovery is where adaptation happens. Recovery is where the performance gains are built. Now take that same logic and apply it to your nervous system. If you're in sympathetic activation, fight or flight all day, every day, you're never allowing your nervous system to recover. You're never allowing the adaptive process to happen. You're burning through your stress hormones without replenishing them. And you're degrading your sleep quality, you're suppressing your immune function, you're eroding your cognitive sharpness over time. And you feel it. Maybe not dramatically, not all at once, but you feel it. Sleep isn't quite what it was. Mental sharpness comes and goes in ways it never used to. You're in the room but not fully there. Your relationships are a little more distant than they should. Your energy dips at the wrong moments. You've tried things, better sleep protocols, supplements, a different workout, maybe even therapy. Nothing really fixed it because none of these things went to the source. The source is the nervous system, and coherence training goes directly there. I want to address something because if you're the kind of person I think you are, you're already asking this question. How do I know this is real? Fair question. Great question. The answer is heart rate variability, HRV. HRV is the variation in time between heartbeats, not the rate, the variation in gaps between each beat. And it turns out that the variation is a direct window into the state of your autonomic nervous system. When you're in fight or flight, your HRV is low. The gaps between are rigid, uniform, mechanical. Your nervous system is locked. When you're in coherence, your HRV shows up smooth, rhythmic. Wave-like patterns. The gaps between beats expand and contract in a healthy, orderly way. Your nervous system is flexible, responsive, and in balance. And we can measure this in real time. We can watch someone move from a stressed low HRV state into a coherent high HRV state using a simple device in minutes, repeatedly. This is not theory. This is not self-reported wellness. This is measurable physiology. It's one of the most powerful things I show people when they first come into this program because they see it on a screen in real time. Their body's moving from one state to the other and they realize it, and this is real. And you can do this. So let's take this back to the beginning. Most people think that stress is something that happens to you. It's not. Stress is a state that the system learned to live in, a state that served you until it started costing you. And just like you trained yourself to be in that state, you can train yourself out of it. That's called coherence. And over the next 9 videos, I'm going to walk you through exactly how it works. The science, the techniques, the measurement, the real world application, and what actually changes when this becomes a trained state. This isn't a quick fix. It's not a hack. It's a gap in your training, and we're going to close that. If this resonated with you, subscribe, leave a comment below, and tell me one thing that shifted for you. I read every one of them. I'll see you in the next video.